Former head of the Securities and Exchange Commission is now the interim head of one of the largest offices in the Department of Justice. Jay Clayton is now the interim U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. I want to bring in CBS News Department of Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane to give us an update on that. So a little background there on Jay Clayton and how his interim appointment could give President Trump an opening to make it a permanent position. Scott, what do you think?
Yeah, Vlad, he's not a household name, and this position may seem obscure to people. But to be clear, the federal prosecutor who leads the Southern District of New York is leading arguably the most powerful and one of the largest federal prosecutors' offices in America. And it is now being led by a man who was once the Securities and Exchange Commissioner in the first Trump administration. Jay Clayton is a close Trump ally inside an office that is, to be by design, independent from politics and independent from the White House. Nevertheless, he's taking charge of the Southern District of New York. He's also the president's nominee to take over this position if confirmed by the U.S. Senate. But this isn't happening in a vacuum. He is taking over a position that has been in the headlines over the past few months because that's the office that's been prosecuting Eric Adams, the mayor of New York. And that's the office that saw a series of high-profile resignations because the people in the office believe the Trump administration was putting its thumb on the scale in the handling of Eric Adams' case to get the mayor to align with them on immigration issues. So there's no shortage of drama, but now there is somebody in the post aligned with Trump.
Really interesting. Let me ask you, Scott, about former Congressman George Santos, who is expected to be sentenced on Friday in his fraud and corruption case. There's been a flurry of court filings in the case this week. What are you learning?
There is a household name, George Santos, the former congressman from Long Island, who was expelled by the Congress in a remarkably rare thing. He had pleaded guilty in a fraud case, accused of bilking people, accused of using his office and his power unlawfully. Here's the thing, Vlad. He's facing a mandatory minimum when he's sentenced Friday in Central Islip, New York. 2 years minimum based on the plea he took in his fraud case. But the Department of Justice is going to argue for 7+ years in prison for George Santos. And a part of the argument they're making, according to documents reviewed by CBS News, is that Santos, after tearfully pleading guilty in court in August, has been posting angry, menacing posts about the Department of Justice in recent days, seemingly running counter to his acknowledgement of guilt and his statement of remorse. Criticizing the case, criticizing the feds. That is not the thing you're often advised to do on the eve of a sentencing. It happens midday Friday. We will find out how much prison time is awaiting George Santos.
You're right, Scott. George Santos is a household name. I wonder, though, what about Kitara Ravashi, or whatever the pseudonym was? For our viewers who may not know what I'm referencing, they should just go on Cameo if Kitara still has an account there. Scott, thank you very much.
No
Scott,
problem, Vlad. You should just go on Cameo is the phrase of the day, Vlad.
That's right. Just check out Cameo. Scott, good to see you, my friend. Appreciate it.